Hey guys, so I'm back with another video. Today I am going to be cutting out my fillers. I've been planning on filming this video for such a long time, like since I made the video, my most recent video of me making my fillers. I meant to film this one. I just never got to it, and the amount of fillers that I ended up making increased by a ton, so I have a lot of work ahead of me. I didn't think I had this many fillers, but apparently I do. So yeah. We'll just get started. I feel like it's going to be a long video. I might have to break it up into multiple parts. I hurt my back, so like sitting and leaning over the way I have to lean over to make these sorts of videos might not work the greatest. I'm not sure what I did, but I ended up hurting my ribs somehow. Honestly, I have no clue what I did. But my uncle's a chiropractor, so I had gone to him to get it put back in. I've probably gone to him to get it put back in like 3 or 4 times now over the past couple of months, and it's like still popping out, so that's cool. But yeah, so if you notice me like moving around a lot, I have to sit on my bed right now, so that way, because otherwise I would have to sit on the floor to film these, and that would just suck. So if you see me like cutting from the side, it's because I have to sit to the side to film it this way, so don't get alarmed. But yeah. What's been happening today? I am trying to stay out of the frame, and if I get into the frame, I'm sorry about that. I'll probably crop it or something in a way that you can't see me. But anyway, what's been going on lately? I feel like it's been forever since I filmed one of these more chatty videos, but what's been going on lately? So much. The amount of comebacks that's been happening lately is absolutely ridiculous. I feel like there's been so many comebacks. And there's still comebacks being announced like every day, it feels like. So that's exciting. Like there's a ton of comebacks, but they're also all apparently from groups that I love. So I've been having to be like a little bit more selective about what I would buy. Like I would love to have bought another copy, like another version of Twice's More and More album. But there are so many, and if there were less comebacks, I probably would have. But like who else is coming back like the beginning to middle of June? Twice, AB6 is coming back, and they're a group that I buy physical releases for. WJSN is coming back, and I love them. WJSN has like really been climbing up my bias list lately. So WJSN is coming back, AB6, Solgi and Irene is having a debut, Weki Meki was just announced. Like so many comebacks. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what to do. Like there's so many comebacks. Stray Kids is like, I don't even know. Stray Kids is like the middle of June, I think, is when they come back. The day before Solgi and Irene or something like that. I don't know. I don't keep up with them that much. Who else? Like, literally, it's insane. Every company, I feel like, is just announcing so many comebacks. Monsta X just came back. I honestly haven't even listened to the new Monsta X album yet. I haven't bought it either yet. I said it was gonna be one of those where I like had to listen to it before I decided if I was gonna buy it or not. And that still is true. I have to like lay on my stomach and cut all these out so I can like stay comfortable, because my rib is really doing the most to try and just cause me issues. And the most ridiculous part is like usually you could remember, oh, I hurt my rib, I know what I did. I have no clue what I did. All I know is one night I went to go to bed and I could not, wow, I could not get comfortable. I have no, ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, I'm so sorry, Chewy. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyway, what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, Monster X. I haven't had time. Well, I don't even know if it's like I haven't had time to listen to Monster X. I just haven't wanted to listen to the new album yet. I mean, I'll get around to it eventually. I'll listen to it. But I feel like I just haven't wanted to listen to it yet, so I haven't, you know? Which makes me sad because Monster X used to be one of my favorite groups. But I just haven't wanted to listen to their music lately. I don't know. And I wouldn't say that this like sudden loss of interest in Monster X is from Wano leaving, because that was happening before Wano's scandal anyway. Like probably around Alligator era, I was starting to just not want to listen to their music as much and not want to keep up with them. I don't know, I feel like there's been a ton of other groups that I've just really fallen in love with a lot lately, that some of the first groups I got into I'm starting to just not even lose interest in them, because I still want them to do well and I still try to keep up with them, you know, but like I definitely don't keep up with them as much as I used to. I'm just like, I don't know, I guess you could say I'm just growing in a different way. I find that now I listen to a lot more girl groups than I do boy groups. Like, I don't know, I just find myself being a lot more interested in the girl groups lately, which is fine. I think I'm also like I am one of those types of people that can listen to a variety of different types of music and be fine with it, but I definitely do have like a sound that I prefer, and I think I've just lately been finding myself drifting towards those types of groups, which is fine, you know, like the more retro sounding, like R&B. I'm not one for big, like, I'm not one for bass drops. I'm not one who enjoys, like, empty choruses, as I like to call them. You know, the choruses that don't have any singing in it, they just have instrumentals. I'm not, like, a crazy huge fan of those sorts of choruses. So I find that with groups who tend to lean more towards that style of music, I find I'm growing out of them a little bit. Like, I can still enjoy their music, but I prefer a really vocal heavy chorus. And I find that I'm also starting to lean more towards the groups that have really strong vocal lines, and that's just strictly because, like, I'm not a huge fan of rap music. I never have been. So I think, like, lately it's really just been me kind of just preferring to listen to specific types of music over others. Like, I don't know. That was a long way for me to explain. Like, I just haven't listened to Monsta X's new album yet. I will listen to it. I just haven't. I don't know. It'll probably be like a couple of weeks and then I'll listen to it. Because I do still like them and I do still want them to do well, especially with everything that's happened to them. I think they deserve to do well. So hopefully I'll actually get around to listening to it. Because I've heard from my Twitter timeline that it's good. I just haven't listened to it yet, so. We'll see. Yeah, there's been like just so many comeback announcements lately that it's kind of overwhelming, like the amount of comebacks there are. I think that's also like contributing to me just straight up ignoring, well, not ignoring, but distancing myself from a lot of groups that I used to be really into. Part of it is just from like the overwhelming amount of comebacks that have been happening. Like when there's that many comebacks, I feel like it gets really overwhelming if you're paying attention and really watching, closely watching, I guess I should say, like all of them. So I think like part of me is just trying to focus a little more and find a little bit of stability with less comebacks and all that sort of stuff. I need to sit up. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm just getting like comeback fatigue. Like, there's just been so many comebacks that have been announced that I think I'm just getting tired. And I'm just having to say, you know what, I'm gonna pick this comeback over that comeback because I am honestly too exhausted to focus on all of them. I think that's starting to happen with me. So it's unfortunate, but I think that's partly what's contributing to this like lack of interest in a lot of different comebacks, is the fact that there's just so many of them that I'm getting tired. Like, honestly, I look at the timeline sometimes at night on Twitter and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so tired. There's so many comebacks lately. Which is fine. Comebacks are good. I enjoy comebacks. But, like, there's so many of them. I'm getting tired. So, yeah, I think that's partly why I'm just, like, choosing to focus on specific comebacks, and maybe it'll take me a little longer to really listen to other comebacks from other groups, you know, stuff like that. But I will eventually listen to all of these comebacks. I don't want to say ignoring, because I wouldn't say I've been ignoring them, but I definitely haven't been closely monitoring them, you know? Which is fine. I am just really looking forward to the WJSN comeback. They are definitely becoming one of my favorite groups. Like, their last 3 or 4 comebacks have really, I've loved them. Like, I'm still listening to those songs. Like, Save Me, Save You is still in my, like, top most listened to Spotify songs. Like, that playlist that they have, the on repeat playlist. Save Me, Save You is still in that playlist. Like, that's how much I've been listening to it. Like, I love that song. And La La Love. I know there were, like, a lot of people. Well, I don't know if it was a lot of people. But there was definitely, like, a good amount of people who didn't like La La Love or didn't like Save Me, Save You when they first came out. Personally, I liked both of them. I thought they were both really, really good. So I am really, really looking forward to what they're going to release now. Same with As You Wish. I love As You Wish. I still listen to it. So I am super excited for that one. That's like one of the ones I'm most looking forward to. For June, like Solgi and Irene, and then WJSN. I'm also looking forward to the Twice one. I just like can't figure out what I'm supposed to expect from the teasers, you know? Like typical JYP type teaser. You can't figure out what you're actually going to be listening to. But they also haven't released the album sampler yet, so who knows? But the WJSN one, I am really, really looking forward to. So I can't wait. But the teasers, oh my god. The teasers, like I like the teasers for WJSN and I like the concept and it looks really good. But they have like moving teasers that they're doing this time and they're like, they look pretty and there's like, butterflies and everything flying around them, but then all of a sudden, like, the whichever girl's teaser it is, like, let's say it was, like, Bona's was the first, like, really creepy one for me, I think. It was Bona's, but let's say, so you're looking at, who should I use as an example? I don't even know. You're looking at, like, Luda's teaser image, right? And it's like, oh, so pretty. There's butterflies flying around Luda. She's like in this garden looking all pretty. Wow, so gorgeous. And then all of a sudden they'll blink or their eyes will like turn to you and it's like, oh my god, that's terrifying. Like, I don't know. I think it's just the suddenness of like them looking at you or their eyes blinking. It just comes out of nowhere and it kind of creeps me out. Like, I don't know. I don't think they're meant to be creepy teasers, but they're creeping me out a little bit, man. Or was one of them, like, really scared me? It was either Luda or was it Dawan's? It might have been Dawan's. Or Luda's. Like, I don't know, man. It just scared me. It creeped me out. They're pretty and I think it's a really cool concept. It was just like, I didn't expect them to be like that, so when it happened it scared me a little bit. Which is fine. Like, I'm used to it now, so it's not nearly as freaky anymore, but when I first saw them I was like, oh my god, how terrifying. But I also just found out that every member of WJSN has a personal Instagram account. I didn't know that. Like, how long have I been following them for? Like, probably a couple of years at this point. And I didn't know that every member had a personal Instagram account. I don't know how I didn't know that. I just didn't. Like, what was it? Last night, I think it was Dayoung. She posted on WJSN's like Instagram account and it tagged an account and I'm like, oh, does she have a personal account too? So I like looked it up and I'm like, oh, she does. And then I'm looking at who she's following and all the names are like Unsu, Shani, Cheng Zhao, and I'm like, wait, does every member of WJSN have a personal Instagram account? And then I went looking, and yeah, they do. Which I didn't know, so I followed all of them on it. And now, I didn't realize they were so active on Instagram. But like every night, my news feed on Instagram is just WJSN, which is fine. I like WJSN. They're like a top group for me. Honestly, I want to collect them, and they don't have a ton of cards. But my bias in WJSN, I don't know if I've ever talked about this because I don't think I've ever really talked about them on my channel. But my bias in WJSN is Johnny. And she is not active in WJSN at the moment. Like, she's active in China, but not in WJSN. So I haven't really been buying any of their albums or collecting any cards because my bias isn't even in the comebacks. Like, I still love every member, and really, like, when I first started buying albums, WJSM was a group that I like knew of and I liked and I listened to their music, but I didn't know the members, so I didn't feel comfortable buying their albums because I didn't know all the members. But now I do, and they've slowly like become a top group for me. So I want to buy their albums, and I would love to collect their cards, and I would collect Johnny, but I also want to collect for their like past. How many comebacks has it been? It'll be 4. Like, I know the Rocket Girls contract ends in June, and WJSN are coming back like middle of June. But I really, really, really don't think there's enough time for the China line to get to Korea, record, learn the choreography, film the music video. Like, no way they had time to do that. Especially with the pandemic and the quarantine, like, with the quarantine restrictions and everything, there's no way the China line was able to participate in this comeback. Like, probably the next one, but not this one. I don't even really want to get my hopes up by saying the next one. You know, the China line, they'll come back when they come back. I'll be waiting, and I'll be excited. But yeah. So I wouldn't even know who I would collect in WJSN because I haven't really picked a second bias, and I don't really have a bias wrecker because I like them all. Like, I know that's a cliche thing to say, but it's true. Like, I don't really have concrete biases in a lot of groups, and I don't really have bias wreckers in a lot of groups. So for WJSN, I'm still trying to figure out, like, when I collect their cards, who would I collect? Like, I would collect Johnny, but Johnny has been missing for 3 comebacks, going on 4 comebacks. You know? So, like, who would I collect when she's not in the comeback? But then, like, whoever I collect in place of Johnny, I kind of would feel bad if I just randomly started collecting them in the middle and then just stopped collecting them. Like, I feel like I would have to commit to collecting 2 members of WJSN if I were to collect their photo cards. Which is why I haven't started collecting their photo cards, because I need to figure out what I would want out of a WJSM photo card collection, you know? Which is fine. Like, I'm not also in a rush to be collecting very many other groups right now, because I have so many collections that I'm still, like, I wouldn't say behind. Yeah, I'm behind on a good portion of them. I'm behind on Twice is coming along nicely, but also Twice is having another comeback, so that's a thing. I'm just happy that I finished Feel Special before the new comeback. I feel like it It feels very, oh no, poor Mina. Same thing happened to this one. It feels like very in control to have the comeback before the new comeback. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but it just makes me feel like I have my collection more under control if I'm done the last comeback before the newest comeback. That probably doesn't make any sense, but that's how it feels. You know, it feels like my twice Photocard collection might not look in control, but I feel in control of it because I have Feel Special done before more and more. More and more. So I feel like I can work on more and more and not be falling behind because I have Feel Special done, but we'll see. I still have no clue like how many photo cards there are for more and more. Like, I know there's 100 total, but 100 doesn't really like work out to like 10 per member or anything like that, you know? Like, that would work out to 10 per member plus one extra one for 100 photo cards. So unless there's 108 photo cards, I haven't really looked. I haven't paid attention. All I know is I'll still be collecting 3 members. Irene and Solgi, I did look at their album contents because it went up for pre-order last night, I think it was. It went up for pre-order. And there's 2 versions. So I was like, oh, I could get 2 versions for Irene and Solgi. Because Red Velvet is like one of those groups where they're like borderline alt. So I would feel okay getting 2 versions for them. But then I was looking at the photo cards and there's only 6 photo cards. So I assume there's 3 per member. How many were there? There's 6 photo cards. Or there's like 4 per member and then 2 units, like whatever it is. There's only 6 photo cards. So I feel like it's very possible for me to collect all 6 photo cards and not be completely overwhelmed. So I've been like looking at the album contents and being like, oh, okay, maybe I should try collecting all 6 photo cards. Because part of me, the stupid part of me, the part of me that can't say no, wants to collect OT5 Red Velvet. Which in the beginning probably wouldn't have been that hard, but the Red Velvet Festival, those cards are still on eBay for like $30-some. They're even on, like, I was looking on Mercari, even on Mercari, they're like $15+, and it's like, are you kidding me? $20+. It's insane. So I feel like my finale section for my Solgi collection are going to have to wait for a while because I am not paying $30+ for a Solgi photo card. Like that Glitter Tears one, eventually I'm going to have to pay probably a good amount of money for it. Same with her Raincoat one. But I will not be paying $30 for it. No way. Like, that's insane. I can't believe how much the finale photo cards were going on sale for. Like, even going up for auction, like even auctioning off, people were still paying like $35 for them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I will never pay that much money for a photo card. Even like $15 including shipping, I'm like, oh, that's too much. Like, what's gotten into me? But some people, it's like, holy crap, you'll pay that much for one photo card? Like, no thank you. So yeah. Either way, I'm super excited for the unit debut, and I'm super excited to see like what the concept is and everything. Regardless of whether or not I end up collecting Irene too, I'm still crazy excited to be able to collect it. So yeah. Everyone's, like, literally, it feels like everyone is having a comeback in June or July, except for Promise 9. They have not been announced for anything yet. Like, nothing. It, like, actually makes me really, really sad, like, the fact that Promise 9 can't even have a comeback. Like, it makes me so sad. It's gonna be a year, like June 4th. It'll be a year since they've had a comeback. Which is just so sad. So, and yet every time like OTR puts out a notice about something, it makes me so angry. It's like, why are you talking if you're not gonna talk about Promise 9? Like, you have two groups under OTR. There's two groups under OTR. Eyes 1 and Promise 9. Eyes 1 isn't even fully managed by OTR. OTR only co-manages Eyes 1. And yet, they still can't properly manage Promise 9. And they can't properly take care of Promise 9. Like, since Promise 9 got moved to OTR, they've had two comebacks. It's been so long, and they've had two comebacks. Like, I saw a timeline of Promise 9's, like, entire career on Twitter, and I was like, I knew it was bad, but seeing it, I was like, oh my god. It honestly, it made me so sad. Because they debuted in January of 2018. Like, I might as well just tell everyone. And, like, when I think about it, yeah, that's how many comebacks they've had, but it just makes me sad. I haven't even, like, told you guys yet, because it makes me sad, and I keep, like, if I talk about it, I'm gonna get super worked up, and it's just gonna be a mess. But anyway, they debuted with Two Heart in January of 2018, is their official debut. So then they had a comeback with DKDK within a reasonable amount of time, like 5 or 6 months, you know? It wasn't anything crazy. So they had their comeback. But between DKDK and Love Bomb is when OTR, Off the Record, was created and Promise 9 became managed by them. So that's when OTR happened. So then, okay, I say they're like, they didn't have a crazy long hiatus in between DKDK and Love Bomb, but it was like long enough, you know? So Love Bomb was their first comeback under OTR. Like, I'm probably making no sense anyway. So Love Bomb happened. And then they went on hiatus for like 10 months or something like that. For some unknown reason, they went on this crazy long hiatus after Love Bomb. And then they came back with Fun in June. of 2019. I'm like, it makes me so frustrated I can't even think of the right dates. October of 2018 was Love Bomb. Then Fun was June of 2019. And then nothing. So, like, they've been a group for over 2 years now. Almost 2.5 years now. And they have had a debut, 1 comeback, 2 comeback, 3 comebacks. They've had 4 comebacks in 2 years. 4 comebacks including their debut. In 2 years is ridiculous. Plus the amount of hate they got when they first debuted is unreasonable. They were formed on Idol School, of course, and people were pissed off because so-and-so didn't get into the group and so-and-so only got into the group, and they were called a visual group, they were called talentless. Every member only got into that group because they were pretty. None of them were talented. None of them deserved to be in the group because so-and-so deserved it more, and it's like ridiculous, which is why. And then when the whole Idol School thing came up, you think it would be over the point of, like, calling them just a visual group and none of them deserved to be in it and they were only in it for their visuals, right? That kind of stopped after a while. The vote manipulation scandal and being like, oh yeah, so-and-so should have never gotten into the group because obviously they're just a visual group, blah, blah, blah. If the votes hadn't have been manipulated, so-and-so would have been in it over so... It's just like... But OTR put out a statement saying that they would take action against malicious commenters of both Promise 9 and Eyes One. They said both. But the other day, they put out a statement saying they're gonna, like, take legal action against these people and blah, blah, blah for Eyes One. And only Eyes One, even though in their original statement they mentioned both Promise 9 and Eyes One. But now they're only mentioning Eyes One, and they're only saying they're gonna take legal action to protect Eyes One. And it's like, OTR. Like, I have no hate for Eyes One. I really like them. They're having a comeback soon. I'm excited for that. I haven't decided if I'll buy it yet. Like, Eyes One's most recent comeback. I haven't decided yet. It kind of depends. See, my whole philosophy for when I buy a comeback and when I don't right now is kind of who's all coming back around the same time. Because, one, I need something. And not just something to ship it with, but a couple of other comebacks to ship it with. Because I need to use DHL, and DHL is so expensive and the fees are so high that I need to ship a bunch of comebacks or albums together in order to make it make sense that I'm even paying that shipping fee. So it depends on who's coming back around the time same time as Eyes One. And then it also depends on, like, the teasers and everything. I'll wait until the album spoiler comes out because Eyes One's... I have a love-hate relationship with Eyes One's B-sides. Sometimes I really like them, sometimes I don't. So, yeah. That's what's gonna happen with Eyes One's comeback. It just depends on who's coming back at the same time. If some of, like, my top groups come back at the same time as Eyes One, I might have to, like, choose someone else's comeback over Eyes One. We'll see. Comebacks are getting announced, like, every freaking day, so I'm sure someone else will come back around that time too. But anyway, back to OTR and the fact that they're a completely incompetent company. They just, like, seriously, they've just, at this point, I feel like they've abandoned Eyes One, or not Eyes One. They've abandoned Promise 9, and we, like, us Flovers, we Flovers, talk about it on Twitter and go, you know what, OTR, this is unfair. Like, you need to start doing something about Promise 9, because this is ridiculous. It's been a year. It's been over a year with no comeback, and they're a 2-year-old group. I think that's the most ridiculous thing. So we'd say that, and then Weaseones, is that what the fandom name for IZ*ONE is? Get mad at us and say, stop dragging IZ*ONE, shut up about it, OTR's just doing whatever they need to do, blah, 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 we get mistreated too, and it's like, we're not trying to say that's not happening to you, and it's like, and they'll say, oh, IZ*ONE spent so long suffering from the scandal, and now you're just trying to ruin it by complaining about Promise 9. And I'm like, I know IZ*ONE. I am aware that IZ*ONE suffered because of that scandal. So has Promise 9. Promise 9 has never had any company speak up about them regarding the scandal. I think that is the part that maybe hurts me the most as a Flover, is the fact that on Twitter, I was supporting all the produce groups too. Everyone was standing up for the produce groups and saying this isn't fair, like, protect them, protect them, protect them. But no one's been saying anything for Promise. And I think, and I don't know what it is, if people just don't know that Promise was also a group that was affected by these scandals, or if people just don't care about Promise. Like, I honestly don't know what it is, but as a Flover, it, like, hurts so bad when we try and get, like, talk about this scandal and talk about Promise 9, and we get told to, like, shut up and stop making everything about Promise 9, blah, 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 and no one wants to listen to us about why we're bringing it up and why we're trying to be so loud, and no other fandom, like, cares enough to, like, help tweet our mass email thing out for Promise 9, or because I don't know if they just don't know who they are, or they don't know that Promise is also part of the scandal, or they just don't care. I don't know. But as a Flover, I think that's the part that hurts the most, is to have seen, like, pretty much the entire K-pop community stand up for IZ*ONE and X1 and 101 and IOI and show them support, but then to see them all ignoring Promise 9 and not trying to help us when we're still trying to get them to get them out of this scandal, to get them, like, to get their company to say something about the scandal, to get the company to say something about activities. Like, you don't have to give them a comeback. Like, I'm not asking OTR to give them a comeback right now. I'm asking OTR to update us, Flovers, about their activities. I'm asking OTR to tell us that we can expect to come back within a couple months, or to tell us that there will be a comeback. That's what I want from OTR. And OTR is not doing that for Flovers, and I think that's the part that hurts the most. No, that is the part that hurts the most, is that we've tried to bring attention to the fact that Promise 9 have also been affected by the scandal and are still being affected and are being hurt by it, but we're either being ignored or being told to just straight up shut up and stop making everything about Promise 9. So, yeah. That's my rant of the day. I don't even know how long I went on about that, but it just, like, boils my blood. It really does. It hurts. It doesn't even just boil my blood. It, like, it hurts. It hurts. I finally made my dye teasers, my dye fillers, and it took me long enough. I just, like, didn't want to get around to doing it. I didn't want to get around to doing any of this, but judging by how many fillers I have right now, like, it's a good thing that I did it today, because if I had left it any longer, I would have a lot more work on my hands. So I'm glad I decided to do it today. Like, honestly, I didn't even know I had this many fillers. Like, when I was printing them off, I'm like standing at the printer and I'm like, why is the printer still going? Like, what is printing? And every time another sheet of fillers would come out and I'm like, oh my god, did I make that many fillers? And this isn't even all of them. Like, I still have more, Yes or Yes fillers to make. I still have more Fancy You fillers to make. Because I've seriously been ignoring my need. Like, I need to do it, but I've been ignoring it. I don't want to do it. So, maybe this is, like, the first step in me, like, actually doing something productive. Anyway. I feel like I have no clue how long I went on and ranted about OTR being a crappy company. At least I didn't rant about JYP today. I have a lot of ranting to do about JYP. Well, I wouldn't say I do have complaints about JYP, but they're like the typical, like, they can't do anything. But, like, today, I feel like Twitter, I just need to get off Twitter, because everything that is on there, like, drives me absolutely insane some days. But today, it's just, like, a massive amount of, people who claim to be JYP Nation stans. I think this is what bugs me the most. People will claim to be JYP Nation stans, like, JYP Nation stans as in they, like, stan every group in JYP. That's those sort of people, right? We love every group in JYP, but yet they'll, like, shade and hate on GOT7. Like, those types of people have really been getting on my nerves lately. Like, they'll tweet about, look at how amazing JYP Nation is. Like, Twice did this, Stray Kids did that, 2PM did that, Day6 did that, ITZY did this, and then they'll just shut up. And it's like, okay. What about GOT7? Or they'll, like, tweet the video about the JYP Nation stage that was at the year-end show a couple of years ago. And they'll be like, oh my god, look at Twice and Day6 and Stray Kids, so amazing. Maybe next time ITZY will get to join them. And it's like, what about GOT7? Bam Bam didn't go there and come in with, he's the real bitch, he's the real thing, to be ignored, you know? It's like, I think lately, what's been getting on my nerves is just people who claim to be JYP Nation and love every group in JYP Nation equally, but then they, like, subtly go about shading GOT7 or hating on GOT7 or purposefully leaving them out of things. And I'm like, I don't care if you don't, like, I'm one of those people, I don't care if you don't like GOT7, but don't, like, have them in your Twitter bio and say you're JYP Nation and you love every member so much and perfect, and then turn around and call, you know, the GOT7 members, like, a crazy amount of things and hate on them and bring up past scandals that really, like, have been debunked. Or not even debunked, but dealt with and over with and moved on past. And then, you know, it's like, it's one of those things. Like, the longer GOT7's contract at JYP goes on, and the longer the groups, like, go on, and the other JYP group fans, like, never leave GOT7 or Ahgase alone, the more I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for them to leave that company. Like, please just leave. I don't want GOT7 in that company anymore. Like, I have never been one who's like, oh, I hope GOT7 don't re-sign their contract. But I hope GOT7 don't re-sign their contract. I have turned into one of those people. JYP Nation stans have drove me to be one of those people. Because it's the same thing as Flovers. Like, Ahgases can't seem to be able to complain or be allowed to complain about anything without other JYP stans, like, coming in and saying, you're just ungrateful, you're just this, you're just that. And it's like, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're allowed to complain and say this and say that and want this and want that. But we can't. It's like, I mean, it's ridiculous. Especially, I find stays and onces. Not all stays or onces. And I love Twice and I like Stray Kids. So, nothing against those groups. But some stays and onces, like, will not leave us alone. And it's like, if you talk, like, this is my philosophy. If you spend that much time thinking and talking about a group, do you really hate them, or are you just upset at the fact that you like them? You know, are you just trying to compensate for the fact that you don't like them and come off as being edgy? Because what person keeps up with a group that they don't like that much? Like, I don't. If I don't like a group, I don't even know what you're doing. You know? So, it just makes no sense. But whatever. I'm not in their minds. Like, last night it was announced that Twice had surpassed, like, what was it, 500,000 pre-orders for their new album, which is so great. I'm so proud of the girls, and they definitely deserve it. And if there weren't so many comebacks happening right now, I would definitely be buying another copy of More and More. There's just too many comebacks happening right now. I don't know, I might still get another one. I'll have to see. It's like one of those situations where I'll have to see what the other versions of the album look like. And then I'll probably pick one up, you know? Or I might pick another one up, depending on if there's a version that I didn't get that I really, really like. I might pick it up, you know? That's how it works. But there were onces, and GOT7 had tweeted about Youngjae being on Idol Radio. Because Youngjae is a permanent DJ on Idol Radio now. So GOT7, like the official Twitter account, tweets out when Idol Radio is starting. So, because Youngjae's on it, right? It's just what they do. But there were I wouldn't say so many onces, but there were onces underneath GOT7 official's tweet saying, oh, Twice just surpassed 500,000, like, pre-orders of More and More, like, Twice is superior, Twice are the only people within that company that make money. And I think that entire argument between who makes the most money between GOT7 and Twice that goes on between onces and Ahgases is ridiculous. Why do you care? They both make a ton of money for the company. They both bring in significant value for the company. If, like, seriously, if either Twice or GOT7 were to leave, it would be a hit to that company. Like, JYP would suffer if either Twice or GOT7 left. And that's the facts. Both groups are important to JYP, and both groups bring in a ton of money for JYP. So I don't know why everyone just can't accept that both groups are significant money makers for the company. Both groups bring in a lot for the company. Twice within Japan and South Korea, and GOT7 in Thailand internationally. Because it might be, like, shocking, but GOT7 have a lot. Well, it's probably not shocking. But GOT7 do have a really big Chinese fan base. So that's why Mark and Jackson spend so much time in China. But also, GOT7's Thailand fans, like, Thai fans are no joke. But anyway, I don't know why it's so hard to just accept that both groups are significant, both groups bring in a ton of money, and both groups bring focus to the company. through different parts of the world. Like, both of these groups allow allow JYP to truly have influence globally because their groups do, you know? Like, it doesn't matter which part of the globe you go to, one of their groups, GOT7 or TWICE, is probably going to be one of the top groups there. So, I don't know why it's such a big argument and why. Because I find that's like the thing that TWICE or ONCE's and Ahgase's fight the most about on Twitter is which group brings in the most money. And it's like, why do we care? Because we'll never truly know how much money a group brings in because we don't know how many expenses there are for said group. Like, you can't know the profit without knowing the expenses, and I don't know how much JYP spends on either of these groups. I don't know how much JYP spends on any group. So, just stop arguing about it. It gives me a headache. I love GOT7 and I love TWICE, and sometimes you just want to enjoy a comeback without having fans in the comments under an official post arguing about this and arguing about that and doing this and doing that. And it's like, oh my god. Gives me a headache. Like, can we all just accept the fact that both groups are significant and both groups are significant moneymakers for JYP? Money doesn't just come out of South Korea, and money doesn't just come out of international fans, you know? Like, both groups bring in a lot of money, and both groups have a hold on a different part of the market. And can we just accept that and move on, please? Because I'm tired of it. Another rant for the day, but it's just like, people who just can't, like, focus on the groups you like. Life is so much better. If you don't like a group, don't worry about them, because all it's gonna do is bug you. Like, if you don't like a group, don't even be bothered with them. Trust me, your life will be so much better. And that's the thing I will never understand about, like, specifically Stan Twitter. It's like, why do you spend so much energy on groups you don't like? Unless you're just doing it for clout and you're just doing it for likes and retweets and to get noticed and followers and all of this. But that's exhausting. Like, honestly, I focus on the groups I do like and I'm tired. Like, right now, so many groups I like are having comebacks and I'm tired. I don't have time to worry about the groups I don't like. You know? Life is so much better. Like, yesterday, or it was last night, it was after TWICE's pre-orders were announced, which I was super happy about. But what I've noticed over the past couple of months is that I've really ended up following a ton of, like, chart accounts or, you know, accounts that only tweet about, like, numbers and achievements. And it's like, well, it's nice to know about that and it's nice to see that. It's just tiring as a fan, and I don't know, I was, like, getting really stressed out last night. Because all of a sudden, my entire timeline was, like, flooded with numbers. And then after the numbers, it was people quoting the chart accounts and talking about this. And then it was people trying to be edgy and talk about numbers. And I was just like, man, I need to unfollow every single chart account. So I went through my follow list and I unfollowed every single account that tweeted about that sort of stuff. I only kept, like, one or two. I kept 2 chart accounts on that I followed. And that's just so I could, like, keep up with stuff, so I would know about things. But, like, if something significant happens, it's going to end up on my timeline anyway. And I just got to the point where I don't want my entire timeline to be filled with numbers and streaming, because it's not stressful, but it, like, gave me anxiety. And I was like, I cannot handle that. Like, so happy for TWICE, but, like, I'm really happy for TWICE. And I'm happy I know about it, but that was like, I think the breaking point last night, because there was just so much. Like, I unfollowed every news account that I followed. Well, I wouldn't say every. I kept one news account that I followed on. I kept following them. And 2 chart accounts, I think. And then everything else I just unfollowed because I would rather not know anything about charts and numbers and enjoy it than just be flooded with numbers and charts. So, I don't know, I looked at my timeline this morning and I was like, wow, I just feel so much better about that. I am so glad I did that. Because I'm not one of those people who really cares about numbers. Like, it's so great. Happy for everyone's achievements. Like, I like knowing what groups achieve and I like seeing their achievements, but I'm not really someone who puts a ton of emphasis on the numbers. I don't know, I'm not. And I found that the more I was on Twitter, the more I was becoming concerned with numbers. And I just don't want to be concerned about numbers. Like, worrying about the amount of pre-orders and the amount of sales or the charting just doesn't make me enjoy the music more. It makes me enjoy it less. So I just unfollowed everything like that so I could just... And I think what broke the camel's back was Twice's pre-order numbers, because I was like, oh my god, I'm getting like worried about how many they're gonna sell or what their charting's gonna be. And I was like, no, I need to unfollow every account like that right now so it doesn't ruin Twice's comeback for me, you know? Like, I want to enjoy this comeback, and I will not be able to enjoy this comeback if my timeline is flooded with numbers and news and charts. I will not be enjoying this comeback. I'll just be stressed out about this comeback. So, I wish I would have done that before Got7's comeback, because it would have made me enjoy the comeback so much more. Like, for other groups that I like The Boys and New East and AB6 and a bunch of girl groups, I don't follow any chart accounts for them. I don't follow any news accounts for them. So I just enjoy the music, and when they do have an accomplishment, chances are I'll see it and I'll be happy with them, and I'll be happy and I'll like retweet it and congratulate them and stuff. But my entire timeline won't be flooded with it, and it just makes me so much more relaxed. So, yeah, I think that's the key for me, is I don't want to know anything about that. We will start with my Got7 binder, because I don't think there should be like, oh my god, was that out of focus the whole time? I don't think so. It's just like weird looking. Okay, so I have, let me look at these. I have Flight Log Departure fillers. Right here. And I only need one filler for Flight Log Departure because it has a group card. Turbulence I don't need yet, but I do have a card coming for that one. Okay, so the next one should be Die. Oh, I didn't put fillers in for that either. I'll do that later. I'm just like, I'll do it later. Okay. Die. Keep out that first two. So I need one of these with the album cover. I tried to like keep the background color to like a very like, well, I tried to match the gray on the back of the glitter ones. I like could not pick on the I couldn't pick the actual teaser images that I wanted to use. because I love the glitter ones, but I also really like these like outdoor ones, these ones. So I just decided to use both. So it alternates between the glitter pictures and the outside pictures. Okay, and then I printed off a replacement for verse 2. That did not get messed up in printing. My verse 2 collection is like actually done too. I bought the other album, so I have those on the way. Okay, so that should be everything. Let me grab the Eyes on You fillers, and I'll quickly add that in. Which one do I want to use with red? I think I'll use, it's the on version, so I'll use this one. No. I'll probably change everything around when I'm just like tired, obviously. When I get my other sets in there, I might switch them around until I get everything the way I want it to be. There we go. No. Okay, go in. Eyes on You. And Eyes on You. Perfect. Okay, let's grab my other binder. I didn't make anything for Aaron, what's it called, the Nocturne yet, because I don't even own any of those cards, so I have nothing to put in there. I reorganized my Twice section because I finally figured out how I want my cards organized. Kinda. Well, no, I do know how I want my cards organized. So I was finally able to add that. So my ice cream cake filler, the red, there we go, the red, and Russian roulette. I need to figure out something to put here, because that's going to be an empty spot. So I need to figure out like a filler to put there. And that's all of my Solgi fillers. So Twice. Feel Special. Is this in frame, all of it? Kind of, maybe. Kind of. Okay, so Chewy. So here's my other Geo filler. There we go. And then I need, okay, so we have this one, this one, this one, and where is the other half of that one? Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put Yang Yang away. No, Yang Yang's in this binder. Never mind. Okay, so which one do I want with Geo? I'll put this one here with Geo. Well, it doesn't go here. It goes here with Geo. Okay. And then we'll add so that other one will go here, and then So this goes with Chewy, and then do I want this one here or this one? Maybe this one. Okay, so I need it to go. Nyan goes here. And then the other half of Nyan's face is here. Wait, no, that's wrong. How does this go? Okay, this one here, here. Here, here. Right? Nope, here, here. I don't even know. Let me see if this is right. Here and here. And that means this one goes here. Okay. Now that's in there, we can go to Chewy. So her card goes here. This one goes here. And then this one goes here. This is the middle. And this is the other end. Okay, let's look. Perfect. Well, you know, this one needs to move a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, Feel Special is in. I won't add any of the fancy or yes ones right now. I'll wait until after to do that, until I actually make up the pages. So the last one is Yang Yang's Take Over the Moon. I don't have a filler for sequel yet, but I also don't have any cards for sequel on the way. But yeah, for now, that'll be everything. That's such a long video. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. But anyway, so that was the video for today. I just cut out some fillers that I made, ranted for a while, and then put them away with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!